Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm planning to expand my RC collection and would therefore like to compare 3 larger monster trucks today. Currently my garage consists of a 1/18 scale highboxing and a 1/16 scale Rival VXL from Traxxas. So I ordered 3 trucks that are of special interest to me. The Traxxas Maxx, the Rival MT8 and the Rival MT10 from Team Associated. All are in the monster truck category, have electric motors and a 4-wheel drive. I would like to have a look at the general quality and the construction. I want to see if there are any known weak points and what tuning measures can or even must be taken. Finally, I want to compare the costs, and at the end I will decide on one model and send the other 2 back. Let's start with the Traxxas Maxx. This huge truck is very popular in the community and is known for its robustness. This is version 2, which is about 20 mm wider on each side than the version 1. The stable chassis is designed for high speeds and jumps. With a little practice, the clipless body is very easy to mount and remove without any body clips. The motor is a 2400 kV sensorless brushless motor and the ESC can be operated with 3S or 4S lipos. With the matching gear ratio, it allows the Maxx to reach speeds up to 90 to 100 km per hour on 4S. Look at these beautiful green shock absorbers. These are the GT Maxx shocks. They are made of aluminium and have an extra large diameter. As you can see, the overall build quality is very impressive. Everything looks extremely robust and clean. The chassis is shaped like a tray, which gives an extra stability and prevents dirt from getting in while driving. Like all the Traxxas cars, the Maxx has the great advantage that there are many spare and tuning parts available directly from Traxxas. The good thing is that you never have to worry about where to get parts and whether they fit. You simply get everything from Traxxas in a high quality. You can update the electronics, add telemetry, you get tons of aluminium parts for the steering and suspension, different wheels and so on. The only weak point that I found on this car was the servo. It is recommended to replace it with a stronger one. I'll consider that point in my cost calculation in the end. Apart from that, the truck is very heavy at around 4.7 kg due to its size and construction. And I prefer cars that are a bit lighter and therefore easier to handle. But to summarize, you can buy this car, charge the batteries, go out and have some fun. Let's continue with the Rival MT8 from Team Associated. Like the Maxx, it's an impressive 1/8 scale monster truck designed for RC enthusiasts. It looks pretty cool with its blue-white color. At the back you can see the massive adjustable wheelie bar and the LED tail lights. There are also large LEDs at the front. Compared to the Maxx, the Rival has a body with 4 conventional body clips, but that's no big deal. The truck is powered by a brushless 2100 kV high torque motor. The 150 amps ESC can be operated on 4S or even on 6S. This allows it to reach speeds of up to 80 km per hour with a stock gear ratio. In the middle there's a very nice center bracket made of anodized aluminium. The huge shock absorbers look really good and are made of aluminium from the factory. My first feeling is that they might be a bit too firm, but you can easily tune it with other shock oils. The battery tray is a bit problematic because the selection of lipos is not quite as large. The tray has a size of 150 by 48 mm. Of course, you can use the standard Wolfpack 4S lipo with 4000 mA, but other options are a little hard to find. I have already seen on the internet that there are custom 3D printed battery holders that make it easier to find the right lipo. The suspension of the MT8 offers a lot of adjustment options, which is a big plus point from my point of view. The toe and camber can be adjusted on the front and rear axles. You can also adjust the pivot points of the suspension arms to set the roll center and the camber gain. None of these settings were available on the Maxx, or only if you buy Traxxas tuning parts. And I like being able to play with these settings. You can also see here that the entire drivetrain is made of metal. This provides stability and robustness. I also like the large metal plate on the bottom, and they are also easily replaceable skid plates. Very nice. The receiver is protected in this small box. The box does not appear to be waterproof, at most it might keep out splash water. It is a fairly simple 4-channel receiver. It has neither connections for telemetry nor an integrated gyro sensor. Traxxas has installed a much better receiver in the Maxx. However, everything can be easily upgraded if required. All in all, the MT8 is solidly built and appears to be easy to maintain and repair. All parts are easily accessible, which makes maintenance simple. The only weak point I found in my research are the upper suspension arms. These often break under hard conditions. It is recommended to replace them with those of the Red Cat Kaiju, which is a very similar platform. Apart from that, this truck is pretty large, just like the Maxx. At around 4.7 kilograms, it's quite heavy. Don't be confused, I won't be removing the protective foil for this review, as I don't know which car it will be. I was most interested in the MT10 right from the beginning. I like the look, the size and the technology. With its 10 scale, it's a bit more compact and therefore lighter than the other two trucks. That fits my needs a bit better. The MT10 has a similar massive wheelie bar like the MT8. Then there are these nice LED rear lights and huge LEDs at the front. Let's take a look under the body here as well. This is a kind of net that can be fitted over the motor and the electronics. This helps to prevent dirt from getting into the body. The disadvantage of this net is that the electronic components may not get enough cooling, but that's something we will just have to find out. In comparison to the MT8, the shock absorbers here are made of plastic. However, Team Associated offers shock absorbers made fully of aluminium. Nevertheless, they feel good, perhaps a little too firm. The suspension can be adjusted just like the MT8. Tow, camber race and roll center can be adjusted on the front and rear axle. One disadvantage of the MT10 is the ESC. It is often said that the brake is set way too aggressive and that the truck flips forward when braking. And you can program it to decrease the brake power. And that's why I measure the available space for a suitable combination of motor and ESC. My idea is to put in a hobby wing combination. A Max 10 ESC and a 3660 motor could just fit, but I see that as an optional upgrade at the moment. The whole drivetrain is built very solid and should not cause any problems. The only real weak point I found during my research are the suspension arms. These tend to break quite easily if you drive a bit harder. The recommendation is to replace them with ones from GPM Racing. I have read that some people don't know how to remove the small caps on the rims. They are indeed very tight, but are just screwed on. The receiver is exactly the same 4-channel receiver as in the MT8. I already have a radio link remote control system that I use for my other RCs. I would like to use this remote system for the MT10 as well, and therefore I measure the space in the receiver box. The box has a size of 40 by 28mm, so the radio link receiver should fit. This is the remote control that comes with the MT10 and the MT8. Unfortunately, the quality is only average and you only have a few setting options. You can set the dual rates for throttle, brake and steering and the 0 positions. So don't get me wrong, you can use it for a while, but let me show you my radio link remote control. This is my RC4GS. This is a 5-channel remote control with a nice display and lots of setting options. You can set the dual rates, endpoints, subtrim and exponential curves. There's also an ABS system and programmable alarms. The remote can receive telemetry data and the receiver comes with a gyro system. I just need to buy another suitable receiver, bind the remote control to it, and then I can use it with the MT10. As already mentioned, this truck is my favorite so far. I like the design, the size and the weight. The size is important in terms of storage space, working space and also transportation. In comparison, the other two trucks are much more difficult to handle. Tuning parts for the MT10 are available from Fast Trax, Exotec or M2C. You can get some aluminium parts for the chassis, steering and motor mounts. Engine electronics and servo are standard sizes and can be obtained from several suppliers. Finally, let's take a look at the coasts. The Maxx is an all-round perfect package. You only need one battery, and you can have fun straight away without any further modifications. However, at 650 euros, it is also the most expensive of the trio. You also need a 3S or 4S battery, which brings the total price to around 780 euros. A better servo is optional and costs around 100 euros. The MT8 costs around 470 euros, and together with the battery and the conversion of the Red Cat control arms, the total price is around 540 euros. The MT10 is the cheapest truck at 340 euros, including a battery and the conversion of the control arms. The total price is 430 euros. I see a motor, ESC combination and the metal shock absorbers as an option here. If you convert the motor and the ESC, you have a much better basis than the MT8, and this is still cheaper than the Traxxas Maxx. As you have probably already noticed, the MT10 is my favorite. I love the design, the size and the weight are perfect for my requirements. You can also upgrade it with tuning parts and you can adjust the suspension, which I really enjoy. And all this comes with an unbeatable price and performance ratio. In conclusion, I would like to repeat that all the trucks are great RC cars, and I spent several days thinking about my decision. In the end, it will be the Rival MT10 from Team Associated, and I will pack up the others and send them back.